Emotions are like notifications on your phone. They show up because they're trying to tell you something. And in therapy, I learned that you can think of them as your friends. They're worried about you. That's why they're there. And you should tap into them, kind of like a notification on your phone, to know what they want to say. Because otherwise, you're just carrying them around with you and you have this uneasy feeling that you're kind of walking with. So the question is, how do you tap into them to see what they have to say? Now, it's a 3-step technique, but I'll tell you what happened with me, and then I'll introduce the technique. I had been seeing a therapist during the summer because, well, there's a lot of reasons, but so I met with a therapist for that session, and he had asked me to close my eyes. And then he said, where do you physically feel it in your body? And for me, it was in my stomach, lower stomach actually, and in my heart. So both of these places. And then with my eyes still closed, he had asked me, what emotion is it? Like to try to identify it. And for me, there was 2. There was sadness / loneliness and anxiety. Anxiety was in my heart. Sadness was here, lower abdominals. Still with my eyes closed, he had asked me to imagine just darkness. It's just dark. And then he had asked, what is behind the darkness? What do you see? And for me, surprisingly, I saw a gloomy weather, just like clouds. They were dark blue, and the place was familiar. It was outside the house I used to live in when I was in Canada. And I can see the front, kind of like where you park your car, the foyer, the pavement, the sidewalk, and the weather was really gloomy, as it usually was at that time. And then he had asked me, do you see a person? And you always want to find a person. Yeah, most times it's you, younger you. Sometimes it's someone else. Okay, so he asked me to find a person. And I saw me from when I was living there a couple months ago. So a couple months younger me, 4 or 5 months younger me, okay? And he asked then, how does younger you feel seeing you? I said he's excited. He wants to know what happened. Because at the time, I was trying to decide if I should leave Canada or not. And I had left. So he wanted to know what happened. How was it? How did it turn out? But he's there for a reason. So my therapist asked me to ask him what he needs. So I did. I asked him, what do you want? What do you need? And he said, I feel lonely. I want a community. And by the way, this whole interaction feels very emotional. Like my tears, like my eyes started to water. I was tearing up. Because I felt like I met my younger brother. Because I do have a younger brother. And that's what it felt, meeting younger me. I know a little bit more than him now because things have happened. And I care about him, but it's not me now. It almost feels like it's someone else. So I asked him to go on a walk. And then the therapist asked me, what does he need physically? And I said a hug. And he said to hug him. And I hugged myself kind of like this, physically. And I sat with it, and then the waterworks just flowed more and more. Yeah, and then it flowed more and more and more until the feeling that I had inside, that was stuck inside, dissipated, or whatever that word is. It dissolved. It was gone. It was like I was clenched inside, and that was gone. And I thanked my therapist. I was like, wow, like this whole experience is just powerful, which is why I'm sharing it with you today. And now, what I really like about this technique is that if I have this kind of clenched or tightness in my heart, or I feel it in my stomach, I'm able to identify the emotion. What's cool or interesting is, I don't know if you know this, is that Emotions come through the nervous system, and our nervous system starts from the brain. It goes down our spine, and it connects to every organ in our body. So when you're feeling an emotion, you can feel it physically, and you can identify it somewhere. And the key with this technique is to get a grasp or a handle on your emotion. Where is it? What is it? Why is it there? What does it want? And again, you have to process it. Process it, kind of like a notification on your phone. If you don't click on it or tap into it, it's stuck there. All right, we're gonna do this together now. You ready? You and I. I don't want my experience to reflect or be a representation of yours. So I want you to be somewhere where you're comfortable, where there aren't distractions or other people, so you can be comfortable being with yourself and being able to look inwards without any distractions. It's just 3 steps, and we're gonna do the same thing that I did. 1, you're going to close your eyes. Yes, close them. And I want you to feel where you feel the emotion physically in your body. It could be in one place, or it could be in 2. Where do you feel it? Keep your eyes closed. Once you've located it, I want you to think and tell me, and say it out loud. Which emotion is it? Is it sadness? Is it anxiety? Is it loneliness? There are a lot of emotions. Which one is it? And by the way, you could have multiple, but I want you to focus on the more overwhelming one. Which one is bigger? All right, once you've figured out which emotion it is or which one you want to focus on, imagine pure darkness. It's dark. There's nothing. And behind the darkness, you want to take a look. What do you see? Do you see a place? What does it look like? Do you see a person? Take it in, and if you see a person, I want you to observe that person. See how they feel. They're there for a reason. Now I want you to talk to that person. Ask them, what do they want? What do they need? Now, if you can, I'll let you talk to the person a little bit more. When you're comfortable, I want you to assure that person that it's going to be okay, that you can take it from here, that they can trust you. Can you do that? Do it. Take your time. Once you're done, you can ask this person if they need anything physically, like a hug. And if they do, give it to them. And hug yourself in the process, as if you're hugging them. And sit there, sit with it. Take your time, and only when you're ready, you can open your eyes. But take the time you need. This is where the processing happens. Okay. You can feel free to pause the video if you'd like. If you haven't paused the video, you can open up your eyes now. Whoa. How was that? I'm really curious. How did it work for you? If you're comfortable sharing, feel free to do so. All right, that's it for now. That's the video. That's the technique. I really hope you found it helpful. See ya.